listening to the Concierge Coaches Show with Bruce Cameron and Wayne Fritz, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our year-end show for the Concierge Coaches Show here on LA Talk Radio, ending up 2022. It was a good year. It's a challenging year, but it was a good year. So here we are going to do a little wrap-up show for everybody. How's it going, Wayne?
Well, it's going real well. Bruce, I'll tell you, this is an amazing thing that I'm so happy just to be here this year. I mean, my gosh, and it's already gone. Isn't that? And we look back and we go, wait a minute, I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to do that. And you're right. Some of it, we had some challenges.
That's funny you say that because it's this time of year that I go through my planner from 2022, and I have my planner for 2023. I use the at a glance planner. It's you can buy it at Staples. There's nothing special about it. And so as I'm going through the first part of the new year, it's like, oh, I didn't do that one. Yeah, the same thing. And so I'm writing them down yet again. I made it through a couple of weeks of January of 2022 I'm going to get all caught up by next show, but it's kind of fun. But, the show was a great show this year. We had some fantastic guests.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, we sure did.
Yeah.
I think that 2023, we're going to be getting more. I really do. It's just catching on real well, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. Got a recovery person wanting to come in. Of course, we got Brennan. I got another Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter prospect coming in. This fighter prospect had surgery, Wayne, that was so invasive. I think they had to rearrange her large and small intestine and colon. I mean, literally had to redo it. I think it was a kind of a physical thing she was born with, and yet she's still a fairly or competitive fighter. And I mean, this thing is,
wow.
All the way, man. And so I'm more excited to hear about her recovery from that hugely invasive surgery and see how she kept her mindset. She's doing good now, man. She's doing her normal life now. And she went to a special hospital somewhere, Ohio or Rochester, somewhere to get the procedure done. So anyway, we'll talk to her, and we got some other folks coming on the show. So yeah, it'll be a good year. Also want to thank, of course, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Our benevolent station owner, such a good guy. He puts up with our last minute requests to reschedule or do reruns. And is such a stellar guy and a great human being. Also, I think his brother-in-law, I'm going to mess that up, so if he wants to chime in, but Ronan Rosner, thank you, Ronan. He's working behind the scenes, Wayne. Ronan's been doing stuff, I'll say this, for LA, but also he's doing stuff for the show for years, since the beginning, even back in the day. 2014, 15, when I was doing the Crime and Punishment show with Larry Levine, and then transitioned to our own show here. And so Ronan's been working behind the scenes, getting us on iHeartRadio. He gets us on Apple Podcast, and he loves things, and he does it. He's just been so again, Sam. Thanks, Ronan, from the back of our heart, and I actually have a few more show summaries to get uploaded by the end of the week, because I'm getting stuff done, at least in theory. So we want to give thanks to the platform and to Sam and Ronan. So and definitely we want to thank you guys. I mean, some of our shows are just riveting, and I know some of it's just kind of us doing freestyle. Appreciate you guys for listening to us, man. And again, it was the metrics, we had another growth year per episode. So So yeah, we're just going to keep this little podcast that could going. Um, I get offers all the time from producers, and man, if you guys would just get some real people handling your your social media. I'm like, yeah, it's not in the budget unless Wayne's gonna. I'm already tested out, but
I'd have to go pick up aluminum
yeah,
cans.
we're just the talent. We're
I'll tell you
just.
something. I've got a real great news for the end of the year.
Let's hear it, brother.
Saturday evening,
Okay.
my grandson opened the mail and was accepted at A&M.
Oh,
And
hey,
I said, I can't wait to let Bruce know.
awesome, man.
Yeah. He was jumping. There's a video. I should forward you the video and let you see it. He was just screaming and jumping.
Yeah. And usually, did they have the long stream? Sometimes they have the long streamer thing on there, and you hold it up and take your picture that you got accepted. Oh my God! Hey, what an accomplishment! Is this Braden or is this another?
This
Wow,
Braden.
he's that old. Wow, it's amazing. And my son Braden is going to graduate from there.
Well, that's what I told Andrew. Yeah.
That is funny in a small world, but hey, man, congratulations on him getting it. I assume he's going, right? I mean,
well, to be honest, he doesn't know.
Oh wow.
Well, he also got a 95% scholarship to Arkansas.
Yeah, money talks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But he's not worried about Andrew. My son's not worried about the A&M because he said they got so many grants, and every bit of Braden's is on academics.
Right.
So that's his acceptance, and
well,
you can get a lot of grants with that too. And it's an in-state college. It's a great.
I tell you, I tell you, as a parent. Hear the chimes here. Old Big Ben's behind me. Anyway, as a parent, you couldn't ask for a more conservative campus.
Yes.
More so than Baylor, more so than Ouachita Baptist or something. I mean, as a parent, I appreciate that.
Yes.
Now, look, you can get into trouble no matter where you go. Make no mistake about it. But man, people still say yes, sir, and no, sir, and
so does he. He would fit in real well.
And they just, man, it's stuff that I take for granted is considered a little antiquated. But so yeah, man, look, I'm sure he'll decide what's best for him. Of course, I want him to make the right choice. Now, if he had an offer from Rice or Stanford for artificial intelligence degree from MIT or something like that, or he had a Naval Academy appointment, we'd certainly yield to that. But definitely, barring that, I'm still.
Yeah, because I believe he wants to do international business. That's his desire so far. And
well,
his average grade in Nolan is 100.
Man, and it's interesting because the May School of Business is at A&M, but you have the Sam Walton School of Business over there in Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Walmart and those guys are no stranger to world supply chains and business. Not that A&M isn't either.
Well, somebody was telling me, it might have been you, that you had a client or something that graduated from Arkansas.
Yeah, supply chain.
Picked up by Fidelity.
He got picked up. Yeah, he had a logistics and supply chain degree.
Yeah.
And this guy was no stranger to fun. He was in fraternities and took full advantage of that, if you know what I mean. Full advantage. This young man did. So he had a pulse coming out of there, but in terms of a GPA. But hey, man, but you know what? He came out of the Sam Walton School of Business with a degree in logistics and supply chain. And the guy's on his feet, you know what I mean? And so yeah, and so anyway, so Braden, is definitely a superstar, and I want him to.
He'll do well, whatever he's going to do. He's working at Dutch Brothers Coffee now.
Oh, that's another superstar place, man.
Yep.
What a model they have. Have you been through there?
No, but there's one right here next to my house, and I'm going to.
Well, let me tell you about it. So what they do is they're able to kind of do what Starbucks does, but they're able to cut corners, right? They cut corners with their space and some of the staffing. It's really interesting. So instead of a window, you don't talk to a window, you talk to a human being.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
a cross between Sonic and Starbucks.
Oh, cool.
And
Well, he's working hard. I know that.
a human being comes out there, takes your order. And if you don't know what you want, you're kind of at a loss because you're like, well, what do you know? But Dutch Brothers has these muffin tops, and they're
Ooh.
like glorified cookies in different flavors. And I have the chocolate chip.
Uh-oh.
It's so good. So if you go to Dutch Brothers, get yourself a nice latte
Okay, I'll do it.
or a peppermint or some sort of thing. If you want to go heart attack mode, get some sort of a mocha
No,
latte and then get a muffin top and good Lord, it's good stuff, man. So
I'm gonna try it. Do they sell coffee by the bag also?
I think they
I'll
do.
have to ask Brady.
I don't know that for sure, but they do a good job, and it's definitely, um, you know, they definitely fill the bill when there's not a Starbucks as a Dutch Brothers. But damn, you know, sometimes they have a two-lane format like a Chick-fil-A on some days.
Well, they just opened one up here on North Industrial Boulevard, close to my house.
Yeah.
So
That's the one I went to recently on North Industrial, right past
Yep.
the high school or the school.
Yes.
And so
I
there's
just read what they're going to do with that now. That used to be a church and all over Walmart or something. I just read last night finally what they're doing. The city bought that.
Mhm.
And I don't know if our listeners will be interested.
I think one of the last standing Dairy Queens is on Industrial.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. It's a new one too.
Everybody around the world needs to hear about the last standing Dairy Queen on North Industrial where Euless and Hearst collide. And then there's another Dutch Brothers on Precinct Line, far
Yes.
north Precinct Line,
Yes.
just past North Tarrant Parkway, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
know right where it is.
Dutch Brothers.
Well, you go across from the high
show.
school.
Anyway.
If you're across from, was it Trinity High School or something like that?
Yeah.
There's that big place and it had a church thing in it for a little bit. The city bought all of that. And I just read, I'm not real happy because I live right behind that they're going to be putting nice condos
Oh no.
on the corners, and then they're going to have restaurants and a small, grocery store, little things.
Where First Euless used to be, or no?
It might have been.
Wow. You know why? Because I saw a Popeyes. They built a
Right across
Popeyes.
the street. Yeah, that's a brand new one right there on the corner.
I said, man, that preacher's a genius.
Yeah. Chicken on Sunday.
Hey man, we're a little bit low on tithes and offerings this year, so basically we're gonna have a Popeyes in the front yard.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some revenue in this joint.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
For real. I mean, folks, it's a Baptist church. No, it's not a Baptist church. It like many Baptist church, it converted to whatever generic
to a church of what's happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, they put a Popeyes. They segmented off a quarter acre and put a Popeyes chicken with a drive-through. Genius.
And it's full. And that's another story. I've read so much stuff about that going on. It's just crazy. But that whole corner, the whole intersection there is built up now.
It is, man. It is just growth and change and stuff.
Okay.
So
2023 holds some wonderful possibilities.
Keep the police scanner down. These multifamily units get rough, Wayne. Out here.
I'll tell you what, I'm happy where I am. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick right here. I did a good thing at the right time, and
you got your Yukon parked in the yard sideways to block the front door, and
I got all my cameras, and I'm loaded pretty well. And I don't think anybody's going to get past anything.
I don't think so either, man.
I'm locked and loaded there too.
I know. I'm sure.
Protect and defend. Protect.
Walking into a firefight if you go over there, man.
You want to be prepared.
The lesser extent over here, we got some stuff going on over here where got a couple of go-tos here in a pinch. So, well, good, man. That's well, congratulations to Braden. I'm sure your son is proud as well.
I'll tell him because I told Andrew, I said, boy, can't wait to tell
So
Bruce.
yeah,
He'll be proud.
yeah. We need to get development from Andrew too on the show for next year as
Oh,
well.
yeah. I already confirmed that last night.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep. So he will be coming on.
Yeah.
Just got to nail him down.
Yeah.
And
So,
there's a lot going on where he is. Good things for him in store. He just has to keep that little bit of patience. And
well, I think, this year we've brought on guests that have shown how they can still thrive in the midst of COVID, a post-COVID economy, still do the shows, right? I'm a big fan of the shows, and do them using platforms like this, like Zoom, and still able to meet, if not exceed their goals. So I think for some of the folks, some of those Salad Master folks, it opened them up to new possibilities.
yeah, and a few of them really changed their entire model, and they do a lot of it like that now, and it's changed everything. I'm fixing to sign a lease on an office.
You are? Oh, that's right.
So,
do you know? Can you tell us where it is yet, or near?
Well, it's near Harwood and 121.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to look at another one now, right here on Industrial, close to that Dutch Brothers Coffee.
Okay.
One came open, and there's some restaurants there where there would be a lot of traffic. And I'm just going to look at this price per square foot.
So part of your model, Wayne, is you need to have foot traffic to even you want to get people coming in.
Yes, that's why I kind of want in a strip business place where you get traffic, because this one is not like the previous. This one I do want a walk-in because they can see some stuff, and then I can rope them in like a carnival barker.
Woo!
But one dart for a dime and three for a quarter.
There you go.
So everybody wins. Everybody wins.
You could have somebody standing outside giving away free food samples or whatever stuff that y'all were cooking.
Well, I'll have a way to bring them in. It's because it's something that you're going to want to see.
Yeah, I know. I definitely want to see it. And it's my collar here. I don't know how that looks. So, well, that's good. I mean, and then you'll be able to use social media and stuff to get people to the store.
Yes.
You can do a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting. Yeah. That'll get people there.
Yeah, I'll do all that. And then, there's a place over here at Harwood and 121 that some antique gun place or something, big national place bought it. It was an old Walmart. And it's been ruined by storm. But they're really committed. They've got the permits. They're going to gut it, and they're going to have this auction place in there for like antique guns. It's and they bought the rest of the shopping center, which is a little bit dilapidated. There's a pho place in there, real good pho food, but they're going to pour a lot of money into that area.
Yeah.
And I thought, boy, that'd be a nice place to get at a good price per square foot. So, but I'm really close to the other one.
So are they both in Euless, or are they both in Hearst, or what town are they?
Bedford.
Bedford. Wow.
They're both. See, if you're on Industrial, the side where Popeyes is Euless.
It is Bedford.
The side where that church was Bedford.
Okay.
Right across the street from each other.
You're right.
So
wow, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because Bedford, man, is an interesting little town, man.
I'm on the southeast corner of Bedford, because if you go on the other side of 183, it's Euless.
Okay.
And then there's Hearst.
Anybody, all our LA people, listening, Bedford's kind of like the same size as Moore Park. Or Moore Park's a suburb of stuff in the Simi Valley, kind of north of LA, right? And it's Bedford's just that kind of thing, man. It has residential, obviously, but it does have some commercial sprinkled in with it.
Oh, yes, it does.
That's what Wayne has done. So, Good job.
Anyway, I know we're talking about local stuff. That's
Hey,
like
man.
big things going on.
But no, it's a big deal, man. You're opening up a storefront.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I have two, but they don't. We're not right. I'm not trying to get any foot traffic into those offices.
No.
Anybody
Well,
who's there already has a, but
yeah, this time I want foot traffic.
yeah,
I've got my reasons, and I got last week. I got more people in into the company, and it's really it's going to go crazy. It already has started.
Whew.
So
okay, so your goal is to open up a storefront that then sells product through the storefront, right?
it'll do that because it's I'll have cookware displayed. So
Okay.
it's health products, A&W health products.
and
Just-
health products.
Yeah, A&W Health Products LLC, and
That's the name of the store.
yep,
Okay. But you'll be selling the cookware, and will you sell other products as well?
well, what's going to be displayed also is the hydrogenator water units. That's the big deal. That's why I want the foot traffic.
Hydrogenator water units
Hydrogenated water units.
that put more hydrogen in your water.
Yes, sir, buddy. And,
Wow. And you want people to buy these units as
well,
well?
they'll be able to see them.
See them.
And then they could see a presentation very easily. They don't take very long.
Now, is it owned by the same company as the cookware?
Nope.
It's a
Nope.
different deal.
Yes, sirree.
Oh, look at you.
And
So
then
it's like the
also
Generac. Yeah.
an air purifier. Everything has to do with health. We have to breathe. You can't live very long if you don't breathe.
That's
You can't
true.
live very long if you don't eat.
That's
You
true.
can't live very long if you don't drink water.
There you go. So I guess you got them all covered there.
Yes,
Food,
sir.
water, and air.
Yep.
That's pretty.
So I think it's going to be an interesting thing, and it'll keep me off the streets.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Are you going to come up with some kind of logo that has the earth and it has the three major food groups of living? I'm thinking of a logo for you.
Well,
Not that creative, but anyway,
I
you already
have-
got it.
that's a pretty good idea on some of that, but I haven't done that. I'm going to be a little off the wall with it.
Uh-oh.
A&W health products mean I can handle anything.
Right.
And people say, well, what does the A&W stand for? It stands for anybody and whoever.
And whoever.
I kept it for some obvious reasons. But I put an LLC to it.
I got you.
Yeah.
You went
And-
youth before beauty. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's
I
right.
got
Yeah. And
you.
but I'm really excited about it. I got people calling me wanting to join. I had one real good person calling, wanted to know if I needed an investor. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I got it's
You gonna
Yep.
go on Shark Tank, Wayne?
I'll have Christmas lights next year. You can drive through. Hey, you ever drive through that on the 121? That star, what is that?
Oh yeah.
You know what that radio or that satellite?
Oh yeah, Daystar.
Daystar. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Ooh,
It's a beautiful thing to drive through at
it
Christmas.
is good. It is good.
What a treat!
Not so good to look at sometimes with some of these snake
I've never
oil.
seen it. I read about it, but that's all, and that was good enough for me. So, but I'll go through and see all those pretty bright lights.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah.
If you get over here, let me tell you something. If you get over here before the new year in this area, get on
Well,
between Glade Road
okay.
and Hall Johnson.
Okay.
There's one street only, and it runs that length from Hall Johnson to Glade Road. It's called Montclair.
Okay.
It'd be the best light show you ever saw.
Okay.
It's like Highland Park on one street.
Gotcha.
It's just unbelievable.
Good to know. Yeah, good to
I mean,
know.
it's just I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
That's awesome, man.
Yes, I've seen it a few years now, but
Well,
It's
that's
pretty.
exciting. So when do you expect to open your retail thing?
I hope to get into it by the middle of January, first
Oh,
of February at the latest. Oh no,
well, that's coming real soon then.
I don't listen. This is, you got to go big or go home.
Hey, and you can actually do the show. I'm sure you're gonna have streaming internet there, right? You can do the
Yeah,
show from.
I was thinking about that last night about
You should do
what
the
kind
show
of
from there.
internet I'm going to get there.
I'll bring some wire antennas, and I'll do the radio ministry.
There you go, man. We'll get it going.
I get some doomsday preppers in there, man.
Yeah.
You know what happened when the cell phone towers goes out? That's when I'm your best friend.
And then we'll have a little door in the floor that we can pretend like that's a door to the shelter.
Have a little turban over it,
Yeah.
like we're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Old school roof over that thing, over the hatch.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Man, get a couple of German shepherds out there, boy.
Oh, that made me swallow my gum.
Hey, you know what? That might be a theme, man. I mean, that might be a theme. Is these, disaster prepper type of people that seems like the older we get more like that. Like I used to be like when I was young, I'd like, oh yeah, and I listened to these, the stock market's gone to hell, gold and silver is all that's left. Also buy these pre-made meals from Combat Meals. If you're a Republican, buy these meals. They have a shelf life of, always on Fox.
REMs and ready to eat meals. Military. Go off the grid.
Yeah, man. So like, oh wow, really? It lasts 25 years?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't realize macaroni and cheese could last 25 years. So anyway.
Well, I've had in the last couple of weeks, I did a lot of coaching on goal setting for 2023. And I was on a lot of dealers around the country called.
Give us some free chops. Come on, man.
Yes, it really is. I think sometimes we can make too many goals.
I like it. Step one, don't make too many goals.
Yep. I just think that changes us. I think I said it on the show before that you want your goal to be attainable, but you want it to be realistic. You want to have to reach, but you want it realistic. It's not like if you're into model airplanes, you don't want to have a goal of building one that goes to the moon this year. That might be a little out of reach for a guy that flies model airplanes.
Let's just start slow, work our way up.
Yeah, you got to make it attainable, but you want to have to reach for it. You got to work. You got to put everything else aside. You got to sacrifice a lot of stuff to be able to reach that particular goal, but it is reachable. I always tell that story, and I think I may have said it here, is that my brother David weighed 375 pounds at one time.
Okay.
And his goal was he wanted to be a ballerina. Well, that was not attainable. That wasn't a realistic goal because he had too small of ankles. So we want it to be an attainable, realistic goal. That's not true, but it makes people not what's realistic. Yeah. So and then don't make too many, and then check them. Just because you set the oven at 400, check them. Just because you set the oven at 450 degrees, you still want to go over and check it.
Check it,
and go back and review it because it might change because of circumstances. You might need to readjust it because of circumstances, and the circumstances could be good or bad or neutral. You want to look and see where you are. When I'm watching these football games, Bruce, they're saying that those guys on the defense said he was looking at the quarterback's eyes. He knew where he was going to throw. So you want to have your eye on things, and you want to check. And it says that quarterback, he could see everything. And then he made adjustments. He went around, he got on his back foot, tossed that ball, and it saved the day. You want to be able to check and see where you are with that goal. when you're dribbling a basketball down the court, you just don't put your head down and dribble. You'll run into the wall. You've got to know where the basket is at all times. Same with your goal. You got to know where that goal is at all times because you might be closer to it than you realize. And so now you're going to need to readjust it and set it out a little further. You really
check. So are you, don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Are you supposed
to have once a month?
Check once a month?
Just once a month. Just you got your goal sheet.
I was thinking once a week, but yeah, once a month.
Well, once a month is good because you got to work the rest of the month. But I mean, you could have it on. You don't want them too many. You don't want to have to roll a scroll out.
Right.
So just enough you can put it on the mirror. You can put it in your office. Because another important thing about setting goals is once you have a realistic goal and it's achievable and you've got a timeline on it, then you want to share it.
Because that helps you keep accountable to others.
Yes.
You share it.
Like when we confess, what does it say about when we confess our faith? We're supposed to confess it, right?
Right.
Share it. Say it. And yeah, it does kind of keep you accountable. Plus, it actually locks that into you. Just the verbalization. You know, if you ever remember when you was in school that you couldn't record a class. You had to take notes. But it's always said that if you write it down, you commit it to memory. If you're just thinking and hearing it, you don't commit it to memory. You write things down, it commits it to memory. That's why a goal not written down is just a dream. So just write it down very simply. The goal doesn't have to be a paragraph or it could be 2 words. It could be a sentence, short sentence.
Okay, so it's not too many goals. Check on your goals. Share your goals. What else was there? Another one after that, or was that pretty much
realistic? I mean,
make sure you set realistic goals.
Adjust. The last thing would be, because as a result of those things, the last thing would be prepared to adjust.
Absolutely.
I've got a goal. Let's say I got a goal of losing 30 pounds.
Right.
And I'm going to do that for the year of 2023. Well, what if by July I've lost 23 pounds? I might need to adjust that maybe, and I still need to lose weight. Maybe I could lose 40. So you adjust it. You know what you're doing, but because you check it each month. Just so and then visualize. You've got to visualize the completion. That's so important. After you have the realistic, achievable, you set it, you lock it in, you visualize it. You've already accomplished it. It's already finished. And you see yourself at the end of that goal. You see yourself. You visualize you already accomplishing that goal. And that's what it said. I keep bringing it back because I thank God now for everything, Bruce. But it even says that in the Bible. When you ask God for something, God has so much power. God is such a God that you can visualize that being done already. Because because God could do it. So just don't doubt it. And you know what? God is within us.
Let me tell you something, though. That's true. But I never, ever, I put in for a transfer 37 times and failed 37 times. And then it's because I was supposedly I had to run the sex offender management unit when I was working for the feds. Now, that was never a goal of mine. How'd you get to this position? I did not sit on my grandfather's lap and say, "What do you want to grow up to be when you get older?" "Oh, I want to be a sex offender specialist for the Federal Bureau of Prisons." Anyway, so sometimes God has another plan for you, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. But you know what? Everything you did,
open for that, and you got to be obedient to that. By the way, too. Go ahead.
Right. And you know what? I didn't ever sit on my grandfather's lap and say I thought I'd be president of a company. And
that's true too, Wayne.
But if you work hard, and you had to work hard to get that position.
Yeah.
That wasn't just saying, "Hey, there's Bruce."
No, right.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a guy I knew back in
Correct.
World War II.
No, you're right. There's a lot of goals had been actuated up to that point. It just
Exactly.
there was a pivot.
Yep.
There was a pivot.
Well, that's when it comes into be ready to adjust your goals. Be prepared to adjust because life gets a hold of you. And you're in a position. I'll tell you what's the nice thing about it. If you set realistic goals that are achievable, but you have to reach for them. In other words, you have to work hard to get them.
Right.
There's an old saying: the harder you work, the luckier you get. And so if you just work, everything has to do with hard work.
Yeah, but that's like, what is it? You're born on third base, and you think so. I forget the thing. You think you're a triple hitter. But anyway,
Yeah.
But you're right. Now you got to keep that effort and keep it going. I think that's.
Well, I'll never forget when I was a kid. Now this is when I was I'm talking a kid like 11, 12 years old. At the barber shop. Now, this is an old barber shop that's all it was. It was just a little bitty square barber shop, had knotty pine paneling all around it. And it was old knotty pine paneling then. And it had comic books, all over the tables inside. But then there was a little bit of a back room that had different kind of comic books, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Because the guys would go in there on Saturday, listen to the baseball game and sit around and talk and smoke. The older guys, they were on listening to the radio.
Right.
But when I was sitting in the barber chair, there was 3 barber chairs in this. And when I'd sit in that one in the middle, and I'd look right across from me, because you're looking across from you a lot because they're cutting your hair pretty short, with a buzzer. And then that's when they had a leather strap.
Razor?
Yeah, they do that razor and trim around here. And now I found out they're not even allowed to use the leather strap because of hygiene. And that's just bullshit. But there was a sign, it was a plaque right across from me on the wall on a yellowed, knotty pine paneling. And the whole place smelled like a barbershop. Smelled all that panal,
Right.
Put a little bit on your hair. And it had a picture of a hobo with a stick and his kerchief, on the back with all of his belongings in it. And the saying on there said, "Yes, the world owes you a living." And then it said, "But you have to work for it."
Got to work for it.
See, that's it. That's funny. I remember that. I've never forgotten it.
And that's a shame, man, because we live in a society now where people getting $80,000 a year and free health care for not working, and they're simply paid not to work. So it's kind of upside down in some respects.
My mother was a widow with 3 kids. My dad died when I was 6 months old. So, and he had served in World War II. And she was on ADC. That's what they called it then. Aid for Dependent Children. Mm-hmm. And we lived in a housing project for a bit. And when we went to Danville and lived in this housing project, here she was with a baby 6 months old. That's probably a year old by then. And here she was, a single widow lady. And when we moved in there, she got a job as a waitress that she rode a bus, and the bus would drop her off, and it was still a mile to go to the restaurant. She had to walk, and she borrowed the neighbor's shoes, which was one size too small, white waitress shoes. And this was a very nice restaurant in Danville, Illinois. She had 3 kids, borrowed shoes that were too small, walked a mile to the bus and back to work.
Man.
And we moved out of that housing project. But those people were friends of life to my mother.
Sure.
With those shoes. And see, but that's the way people did. We were proud. I mean, not we, but we as Americans were proud.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln's brother wrote him one time and said, "Hey, Abe, brother, friend of mine, I love you. I'm a little broke here. Now I need a little bit of money. Can you send me $5?" And Abe wrote him a letter back, and he said, "Brother, I love you too. Go to work."
Ooh. Yeah. 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 If you're otherwise an able-bodied person, you need to work, and I think we are created to work. I think that's part of our function on this earth is to work. I know it's going to bring a lot of heat on me right now, but I really think that we're created to work in some degree, form, or fashion, and I mean that for all the genders. So, so yeah, man, and I think when we don't do that, I think there's consequences, right? I mean, for sure, laziness, sloth, whatever. I mean, there's just consequences if we're not actively engaged in something. So
It, how I know we're getting off track, but how good do you feel when you work? My brother-in-law moved in with us. He had never worked a day in his life. He was mollycoddled. And I told him, I said, actually, he was coming for 2 weeks, and then he was there 4 months. He stayed 5 years. But after about a month, I said, "You got to go to work if you're staying here." And he was like Maynard G. Krebs on Dobie Gillis. When you say the word work, you go, "Work." So, but I got a friend of mine owned a printing business, printing statements for, Bank of America, those kind of mortgage statements, and then they'd mail them out for him. And I got he gave Michael a job, part-time. And it's funny, this is how it worked. I had to go to Ohio and work with somebody. And so I called him the night before. And I said, "Man, tomorrow's your first day, buddy. You're going to rock it. You're going to feel so good. It's just going to be great." And so he went to work, and I called him and I congratulated him, and his feet were sore. He worked half a day. His feet were sore. So I said, "Man, that's all right. But you worked, buddy. I'm proud of you." So the next morning I called to wish him good luck at work, and Annie said, "He's not going." I said, "What do you mean he's not going?" Well, he said he can't. I said, "Well, take your pretty little feet and walk up the steps and hand him that telephone." And she did. And I said, "Michael, get your blankety big old butt out of that bed and them feet on the floor and get to work. Cooey Wayne, I'm not going. I just heard. I already called him and told him I wasn't coming." I said, "I already called him and told me you'd be late. And if you don't get up and get over there, I'm going to come up back to Texas and I'm going to rip your head off and crap in the hole." I read it all to him.
That's some good ones.
He got up and he went. Now, he didn't talk to me for a day or two, but he went. Yeah. But you know that as time went on, he became full-time. He bought a car. He was so proud of himself. He really, to work and to provide for yourself and to know that what you have in your hands, you worked for, and to know what that dollar means. There's no feeling like that.
That's right.
And that's why, like you said, we're made.
And you're not going to value what you don't earn or what you've invested in. If you haven't invested in it, you're not going to value it. And that's why a lot of these individuals that aren't invested in their environment treat it like crap. Room is filthy, stuff is out of order, just crap all over the place, just unkempt, and like, man, how could you disrespect this environment like that? Well, because they don't respect anything else, and so it just kind of flows downhill. So
that's a good one.
Yeah. So it was the upside of working in men's prisons. That place was clean. I mean, to tell you, everybody's invested in their cell, man. And if you're not, we're going to show you. But I tell you what, we had some clean. You could eat off the floors.
In the Philippines, they have Gawad Kalinga. It's an organization, and it's called the poorest of the poor. We don't have very long to know, but
that's okay. I was checking. You're fine.
Organization that they'll have, maybe somebody will buy or donate some land. And then this organization will come in there and they'll because there's people over there that live in cardboard boxes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is poor. Here in America, poor is not that kind of poor. But anyway, so they'll take Bruce and family, and you don't have anything. And they'll take you and they'll help you build a home. Help you. You're in there painting and you're in there with the cement and you're all this stuff too. And that home is your home, free and clear.
But you're invested in it, though.
Yeah, but now then there's a little catch to it, and that catch is you're going to help somebody else build their home right next to you, and so on and so forth. And they build villages.
Okay.
And when I was in Houston, that's where I really became acquainted with it. And I supported one called, it was in Pampanga, and it's called the Capapangan, Texas Village. And it's in a little town. And I visited it, and now they have a church there. They have a school. This is all built by the people that live there. And everything is clean. Every house is pretty. Now, Bruce, they're a 2-room house.
No, I know.
But it has a roof. It's a colorful little neighborhood. And these people take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
They value what's theirs because they had a part. It was not free. You know, Wallang Libre. Who was it said there ain't no such thing as a free lunch?
Right. Exactly.
They're in. So anyway,
that's good. I mean, hey, man, some of these a lot of your homes in the 30s and 40s and early 50s were the 2-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Yep.
1,300 square foot or less.
Yep.
And some of those shotgun houses, row houses.
Yes. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, man. So
there was 6 of us in a 2-bedroom home and 1 bath.
There you go, man. And you know what? That was middle class living.
It was normal.
Yeah. I mean, that's some solid middle class stuff, So back in the day.
But then I got up to where I had a 5,000 square foot house.
There you go.
But
there's too much to keep up. There's a lot to keep up.
Yeah.
So
I wish you, all of our listeners, a very prosperous and happy New Year. And listen, you've got this week. And if you're a coach on here, get with your people and help them set their goals. And most important, sit down and doesn't take a long time, doesn't take a brain surgeon. Write down a few of the things that you would like to accomplish in 2023.
Yes, sir.
And then throw in a long-term one out there. Put a little bucket list on it. A fun thing. Make them realistic. Make it where you have to reach for it, and then commit to it. Tell somebody, share it, and then just get off your seat and on your feet.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, let's see how this turns out here. Little video. We'll see if it comes out.
Oh, I'd love that.
A healthy and prosperous new year. Bruce Cameron would like to wish you and your family a healthy and prosperous new year. A really, really great year ahead. Make 2023 a great year ahead. Great year.
That's awesome, Bruce. You're the man.
There you go. So, so we want to wish our listeners, hope you had a Merry Christmas and a great, prosperous new year. And I'll play that again next show too. I forgot about that thing, and
you got to do it next.
You need to give it justice there. I'll put that up. I'll send you a copy, Wayne, on your phone, a direct message, so you can just put it on a loop. And so anyway, well, folks, there's another fantastic show here, year-end show on the Concierge Coaches Show here on LA Talk Radio. Hopefully, you enjoy the year and you'll stick with us for the next year. We're on iHeartRadio. Yes, we are. And we're also on Apple Podcasts. I think Stitcher and some of your other favorite podcast aggregators have picked us up too. So don't forget about that. We're on Facebook at Concierge Coaches Show, Instagram at concierge_coaches. I can be reached at conciergecoach.net. And Wayne, where can folks reach you?
Still same place, Wayne _515 at yahoo.com.
And then in his soon to be announced retail space. Boy, we can't wait to talk about that, man.
I'll be there.
God, what a country. I love that transition for you, brother. That's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be great. Okay, everybody. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you next time on the Concierge Coaches Show on LA Talk Radio. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Have a happy New Year.
You're listening to the Concierge Coaches Show with Bruce Cameron and Wayne Fritz, only on LA Talk Radio.